TVASIA Telugu ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ hello and welcome back to yet another fantastic episode of our talk show with experts. మనతో మన expert Rahul Reddy garu, the nation's very prominent immigration attorney anamata. Rahul garu, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for inviting me, Garu.
Along with our Diwali month, isari, మన election month kunna, starting and it was very explosive anamata. And I know people were, like just not sleeping at nights for days together to figure out what was going to be the outcome of this election. So now that we know the outcome of these elections, what is the impact on the immigration with these election results? How do you think we'll get impacted?
First thing is that immigrants were being victimized by the previous administration. In 2016 elections, the Trump administration came into power, putting immigration as one of the main topic. And they said immigrants are rapists, immigrants are murderers, every bad kind of thing were been there though. And if you look into the top brass of the immigration, where mostly the leaders of the immigration in the Trump administration, I would say they are more, this white supremacist kind of people. They have links to Ku Klux Klan, according to me. They just don't like any immigrants, particularly people coming from South America and also people coming from Asian countries. They hate them the most. So they couldn't pass any legislation that would restrict immigration. What they did is indirectly, they tightened up everything they possibly can. For example, in the H4EAD though, they used to approve along with the H1B. What they did is that right now it's taking 16 months to adjudicate the H4EAD. I mean, you can't, according to the laws, you can't file more than 6 months before your EAD expires. And if you apply there, it's taking 16 months. That means that you have to be unemployed for at least 10 months every time, you extend it in the EAD. So these things, what the kind of methods that they have used is that they introduced the public charge rules in the I-539. They said every 539, that means when you file a H4 extension, including even if you're a 4-year-old kid, you need to get the biometrics done. These are the things that they have used as a delay tactics, not, since they couldn't ban the H4EAD, they have done delay tactics. I'm just citing one example of what the administration did it. If you look into, as an immigration lawyer, I say that everything what they can possibly torture the immigrants, they have done it. Since they couldn't get anything passed through Congress, they have administratively tortured it. I'm expecting that the new administration will be fair. Don't expect miracles. Don't expect that they'll come and approve every case that possibly can be approved. It won't be like that. According to the plan, the new administration, which is going to come in January, according to their plan, there are still some restrictions that are there, especially they do not want low-wage immigrants to come into the United States. So there may be some hiccups with regards to level 1 wage when applying for the H1B. But at least the kind of torture the previous administration has done indirectly should not be there with the new administration.
Got it. I guess that's the hope for the new year, sure. In terms of the immigration system getting a revamp, I guess.
Sure.
So Rahul garu, as always, we have a lot of callers, a lot of questions. So let's get on to our callers to start with. Hello. So area code 623. Hello. Rahul garu, while we're waiting on
the caller,
let's take a YouTube question. This is from Rockstar. So he has a bunch of questions, so one is...
I can read this. I read it because he posted it before.
Yes.
He's asking, in the lock boxes, what kind of people work there? Are they lawyers? Are they employees? Are they full adjudicating officers? It's a very good question.
Yeah.
The people who work in the lock box, that means that to open the mail. I physically visited one time, a couple of times, the lockbox facilities. It's like a Walmart. It's a huge place. So when the mail gets dumped into it, they'll be sorted into different criteria because If you look into it, the address that they gave it every time, the PO box address will be the physical address will be given. So they sort those mails out. These people who are handling the mail, they are neither USCIS employees. They are not adjudicating officers at all. And none of them looks to be a lawyer at all. These are the people that are contract employees. These contract employees do not work directly for USCIS. They work from another organization, which we are not allowed to announce it. So this organization, so USCIS contracts all these employees to this organization, and these people work and sort the mail out. It's a very lengthy process. Once they come in, they keep opening those things and they keep scanning those things, and then they will pass that file to the immigration officers. The immigration officers, most of them actually are surprising that when I went to look into the office though, none of them were there. I said, what happened to all these officers? Where is everybody else? All the positions are, they said at that time that they all work from home. Now this is pre-COVID though, not post-COVID.
Oh,
I'm speaking about. So
Okay.
they all work from home. They take the files to home and then they work and then bring it back. That's how it works out. It's a very strange system that I've seen. Is I asked why, when there are so much facilities here, why can't they sit and work here? What the USCIS told us at that point of time, we don't have enough benches and desks to accommodate all the officers. That's the reason we encourage them to work from home. But it doesn't look like that, maybe to retain the employees, they are doing it not because they don't have a facility. They did have a facility to as I said, it's a Walmart size open, huge garage kind of thing where all the contract employees are there. When it comes to the USCIS employees, it's very small. It's not that big. So yes, they do work from home. The officers who adjudicate, most, if not all, work from home. Now, this is before COVID, so assuming after COVID, how it will be.
Yeah, I think for them, typically things haven't changed actually. Then
yeah, they haven't changed.
So what you're saying.
Previously they used to go to football match, baseball match, and all those things. Most of those things are closed nowadays, so they're pretty much forced to work more harder. Hopefully, so they do.
Okay, yeah, let's hope for that. Rahul Garu, let's just try to take our next caller. Hello. Hello, sir. Area code 623. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yes,
yes
you are.
sir.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Rahul and Nitya, for taking my call. My question, I have a couple of quick questions, really. The first one is, my wife and I applied for the downgrade. So she has her own H-1B and I-140 approved separately, but she tagged along with me as my priority date was current. So I've heard about the marriage explanation on a news basis from you. So my question is, what if, try to maintain H-1B as much as possible, but if comes a situation where for some reason I need to use my EAD, but will it also affect my wife? Like, for example, what I'm saying is,
the only question that pops up is that if you are married to this application, would she be willing to, would she be willing to get green card by herself without you? Most probably the answer would be no. So if any single person uses though, I would consider that practically all the people in the family got married to this application. Because she can't, let's say you got married to this application and now let's say, oh, she doesn't want to use the EB3. Now she wants to go to EB2 and then she wants to get back to, she wants to file another she wants to file another adjustment of status. Would she just get a green card without you? It doesn't look like good. So most probably the answer would be that the whole family would be married to this EB3 application. Now, if you look into the new laws that are coming in right now, especially with regards to the restrictive salary restriction and also the specialty occupation and also consulting jobs getting only 1 year H-1Bs, yeah, there is a good chance that you may fall out of the H-1B at any point of time. Then if you fall, practically you would be married to this adjustment of status.
Right. That was my, the reason my question was exactly, you got it right? I mean, there could be circumstance where I may need to use my H-1B.
lot of people have the Indian people have some reason, I don't know where they get the stats and what they get the stats. Some reason they believe EB2 is better than EB3. Historically, EB2 is not better than EB3 for Chinese nationals. For a lot of reasons though, even though history tells that for the EB2 is better for Indian nationals, it's quite different. History is quite different than current, because previously we used to have an overflow of the EB1 to EB2. The second thing was that there were a lot of unused EB2 green cards that were been given to Indian nationals. That's the reason EB2 always used to be ahead of EB3. But we don't see the overflow of EB1 to EB2 anymore. And the unused green cards for EB2 that used to be there before very significantly, they don't exist that much right now though. Now, having said right now, there may be exception for this year though. In general, we do expect, EB2 and EB3 going head and neck. 1 month EB2 will be ahead, 1 month EB3 will be ahead. It's exactly the same thing what happened with Chinese nationals. So don't expect that EB2 will be much ahead of EB3. That's my guess. I may go wrong.
Right. Okay. Got it. I mean, for that, it's just that want to delay the marriage as much as possible, right? So it's just was asking it in context of that. So having said that,
that's delay the marriage is, it's up to you though. I mean, I would not interfere into that one. Is it good or bad? I'm not going to answer that question to you.
No worries at all. Thanks. And one quick follow-up question was I-140 and I-485. This is just my lack of knowledge maybe. It's applied simultaneously, concurrently. So does the I-485 step start only when I-140 is approved in such cases? And I ask because probably I think it takes around 3 years, as I've heard you, for I-485. So does it really become like 2 plus 3 years in case, I-140 needs to be approved before I-485 starts and EAD and approval and all starts?
Good question. First of all, if you know everything about I-140, 485 and everything, you should have come to this TV show. You asked a question is that I don't have a knowledge. So that's fine. Second thing is that, no, it is not I-140 and I-485. The adjudication of the I-485, I mean, the 3 years or whatever time period it is, it will start immediately. It has nothing to do with I-140. But one thing I can tell you though, the 485 will never be approved until I-140 is approved. But it doesn't start from the time I-140 is approved. Okay? Thank you for tuning in.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
So much.
Thank you.
All right, Rahul, let's go to our next caller. Let's also figure out some questions from YouTube. We talked about the lockboxes, but our Rockstar had another question about whether he can apply EAD for his kids who are under 15 years of age.
Absolutely, they can.
Okay.
H4 EAD is not allowed for kids, but adjustment of status EAD is allowed for kids.
Got it. Okay. So Rockstar, if you're listening to this, you have your question answered. All right, let's go to our next caller. So area code 901.
Hi, Rahul.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
So we can hear you.
Yes. I have a quick question, sir.
Go ahead.
So this is regarding the H1 for filing my I-140. So I had to make a transfer during the month of September, and then my employer is ready to file my I-140 labor. But like due to the current LCA wages which have been changed, are those implemented from October 8th or will they be implemented from December 8th? I don't know like what is the status on that. I need some help and your suggestions on that.
There are multiple different regulations and multiple different things that went on in the H1B in the preceding 1.5 months. The prevailing wage goes into effect on October 8th. So if you were to file an LCA or a H1B right now, the prevailing wage is effective right now. So you have to use a new prevailing wage. There are alternative wages that are allowed right now. I mean, it's allowed according to the regulations. So that's there. Even if the perm application, you have to go with a new prevailing wage. As far as the restrictive H1B, especially in the specialty occupation, and also the consulting companies getting only a 1 year of H1B, they are becoming effective on December 8th, not right now. So if you were to file a H1B right now, you would be coming under the new prevailing wage, but you will not be coming under the restrictive specialty occupation definition or the 1 year approval instead of 3 years for the consulting company. But if you were to apply after December 8, everything is applicable.
Okay, only after December 8th everything is applicable, but currently like I can still use my previous LCA or like that H1.
If you have,
so how like when it
wait. Do you have a LCA before October 8th?
Yes, sir. I have my H1, but like my question is for I-140.
For I-140, did you already have a labor certification approved or not?
No, I don't have one.
You have a prevailing wage approved or not? If you don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly.
If you don't know what that is, most probably the new wage is applicable for your I-140 right now.
Oh,
okay. Thank you for tuning in, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you,
that.
sir. All right, let's take our next caller. But in the meantime, we have a question from 𝗘𝗹𝗲𝗪. He says, how will the proposed rule for limiting the F1 visa stay be affected with Biden winning, and if H1B's wage hike rule will be rolled back, or it is bipartisan support?
Wow, good question and tough questions here. Let's go to the F1 rules though. That is in the pipelines right now. The F1 rules is in the pipelines. So it has not been become effective right now. So it may be stopped in the tracks. Specifically with regards to the F1 visa though, the Democrat Party might be a little bit more favorable. So they may not roll those regulations into effect. As far as the H1B though, especially the prevailing wage, the restriction on the specialty occupation, and the restriction on the 1-year approval for the consulting companies, they are becoming effective on December 8th though. And the new administration is not coming until January though. So Trump is not going to stop these things. So they will become effective on December 8th unless there is any court interference into these things. They will become effective. And it's not that easy to roll back the regulations which have been issued though. That's one thing I want to point out to Mr. 𝗘𝗹𝗲𝗪. The second thing is that even would this new administration immediately will roll back on the H1B regulations? I doubt they will. That's my guess. There should be a good lobby from this administration to roll back. But I think so that they may not roll back on the new regulations, especially the prevailing wage that went up. They may not roll back. The specialty occupation restriction, they may not roll back. The 1-year approval, if the company is placing individual with third party place instead of 3 years, they may not roll back. Okay. At least in the short term, I could say that. I hope I'm wrong, but in the short term, that they may not roll back these regulations.
Okay.
So
where do you think immigration falls in terms of the priority list for the Democrats, you know?
It definitely is a top priority than that of the previous administration. But within the immigration, there are many segments that people need to understand though.
Right.
The employment-based immigration is only 14% of the entire immigration. It's only 14%. So there is 84% of the people who get the green card is not through employment, through some other methods though.
Okay.
So this administration may focus more on the other thing. I will tell you an example of it. There are 1 million people, we call them as DACA kids. They came in before 15 years old. Their employment authorization has been granted by Obama administration. Trump tried to stop it, but he couldn't do it because of the courts. So those kind of things will not be going in a vengeance. I think so the new administration will continue the Obama's policy, and we keep on extending the EADs for those people though. When it comes to the employment base though, actually I looked into the policies of the Biden, and also looked into the policies of Kamala Harris when she ran for the thing. They actually don't have any policy on the employment-based immigration. They have none.
Okay.
So we have to come, when they're coming into it, we'll have to see how they're going to act it. I definitely think so that they're not going to go with a vengeance against Indian nationals. but they may be very slow to roll the things out. That's one thing that I can say. The second thing is that now there are some individuals that got benefited because of the Trump administration. It's not the Trump administration wanted to benefit it. They kicked some people out, and then they kicked some people. It's like this, they kicked some people out. There was a room, and then, it happens to be, according to law, Indians were able to get into that room. Trump did not kick out Indians. Maybe he didn't look into Indians that much. So what Trump administration did was that he said no family preference categories or employment preference categories, both though. He didn't say only family preference, but also employment preference categories from outside the country.
Got it.
So in the family immigration, 95% of the, or 90+% of the family immigration preference category comes from the consulate. When it comes to the business immigration, most of them do file the adjustment of status in the United States. So only 10% of them come from outside the country. They do the consular processing.
Right.
So what happened was that excess green cards that were supposed to be given to the consulate process came in to United States for the employment based. And also the green cards that were supposed to go to the family immigration in the 2010, they came into the business immigration. Right. It's not what the Trump administration intended, but it got benefited though. So the Democrats tried to stop this one. They said, hey, family immigration should be given to family immigration. So they tried to stop as much as possible. It couldn't get through the Senate or the House. Now, nothing has changed right now, because even though Trump administration is going out in January, we do have the executive order that is still applicable until January. Now, you may ask the question, well, the year starts for the USCIS on October 1st. So for the month of October and November, the executive order is still effective.
Okay.
The second, even if the executive order is not effective though, the consulates are a little bit restrictive in opening up because of the COVID restrictions.
Okay.
We may see, even though the new administration wants to give the green cards to the family immigration, we may see some family immigration that were not used by the other countries roll into the business immigration, even if the Biden administration may not intend it. So we may still get some benefit though.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let's go to our next caller. Ram, thank you so much for that clarification.
Sure.
All right. This is from area code 908. The area code 908. All right. While the gentleman gets on the call,
I can go to some of these questions. Can I go to the questions of YouTube? Farah is asking the question: if the location, if the address has changed in the MSA after filing the green card within 1 month, will it have any consequences?
Right.
There are two things here though. If it is a consulting company that you filed for adjustment of status, if you change your MSA though, normally the labor certification you can work at any unanticipated locations. So you should be safe. It's a consulting company. If it's a non-consulting company though, you may want to check with your company's lawyer. As long as the company has the original location which filed for the labor certification, and they intend to take you back once you get the green card, I don't see any problem though. Normally when we work with companies like that, we get an agreement by the employer and employee that you're going to revert back. Let's say, for example, you are in Jacksonville, Florida, and now you're moving to Houston, Texas. Right. So we will get a letter from the company and you that's saying that you will, at a later stage when you get the green card, you're going to move back to Jacksonville. That would save the green card. That should, once you get that agreement and then keep it with you, you'll be in a safer position to get the green card.
Right. Okay. All right, let's go to our caller. 903. Sir, 908, please press *6 to unmute your line. Area code 908. Please press *6 to unmute your line, sir. Okay, let's move on to our next caller then, in the meantime.
Hello, Rahul Reddy garu.
Yes, sir. Cheppan, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Cheppan, sir.
Hello, Rahul Reddy garu. This is Kumar. Thanks a lot for providing your suggestions and helping us out, sir. I have two questions, one regarding EAD and one other being filing question. If something goes wrong with the H1, generally even if you get an EAD, most of the time I hear that you should maintain your H1B as well until you get your green card. So if something goes wrong with the H1B and if I am on EAD, how important is it to maintain a continuous employment, and do we need a client letter too to get the EAD renewals?
You don't need a
That is my
client
first
letter.
question, sir.
You already know the hardships of how to get a H1B. I don't have to explain you that. Seems to be. You're pretty aware of it. As far as the EAD is concerned,
Yes.
no, you don't need a client letter. You don't need anything. You just file a 765 application and some basic documents, 485 receipt notice and certain things. That's it. You will get an EAD. No in-client letter, no vendor letter, no, nothing is required.
So regarding continuous employment, if something goes wrong or if you have some 1 month or 2 months gap, even that doesn't matter, right, sir?
I would, no, it may matter for the 485. If you're the main applicant, if there is a gap in employment, the 60-day rule that is applicable for the H1B gap period may not be applicable for the 485 application though. So if you think so that there will be a gap or something, I would strongly recommend you contact a lawyer. The next thing normally is that, remember I was speaking about the prevailing wage, the specialty occupation, and 1-year approval for the H1Bs for the consulting companies. Most of these things are not applicable for the EAD. If after 6 months, after you file the adjustment of status, assuming that your I-140 is already approved, if you move from company A to company B though, all you need is to file a I-485J supplement. Now, in the J supplement though, you'll be very surprised though. What if your salary was $100,000 in the 485 application, and if you get an offer for $50,000, will that be okay? We haven't seen any problem in cases where the salary went down by 50%. So there are many ways where you can protect your job easily on the easily on the EAD than of the H1B.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The second question being regarding the filing date, sir. In the last session, like I told that I'm just 23 days away from the existing filing date, which is May 15th. So still I'm hopeful that the filing dates might move. And in the previous sessions, you told that USCIS has agreed to file in the month of December and once in the month of January as well. So I have a question regarding and you told that it might I can be able to get those dates next year. So just wondering, will that be January 2021 or will that be September 2021? Because both comes into 2021.
What is your priority date right now?
Yeah, June 6th, 2011, sir.
So June 6th, oh, so you're thinking that the EB2 will become current.
Yeah, I'm just hoping, sir, because I don't, to be honest with you, I'm dilly-dallying. I mean, I'm not able to come to a decision to downgrade it. I have all the documents ready, but I'm not sending to the other.
Yeah, here is the thing for you, though. Typically, we don't see the filing dates moving that much at all. Once they moved it in the month of October, we don't see moving of the filing dates. That's number one point that I want you to remember. Number 2 point that I want you to remember is that even if the filing dates move at a later time, the USCIS may not accept the filing dates. And which, you know what that means. I don't have to explain to you.
Yes,
the number 3 thing, number 3 thing, we always, every time on this TVASIA, we said only one thing: go for the new application in the I-140. Never go for the amendment because of some rumors. Everybody said, yeah, I'm going to go for the amendment. Later on, it is proved that rumor is a really dumb and good for nothing rumor at all. So the number 3 point that I want you to be considerate about is that if you file a 485 application this month, and if you were to file a 485 application in EB2 later on though, all what you're going to lose is what? X amount of money. That's it.
Okay.
Right?
So that comes under interfiling, right, sir?
I would use the interfiling. I'm going to present something else differently for interfiling once the things will get clear. You will have to file the entire 485 application again. So yes, that's going to be a lot of expenditure. But when I look into this 944, the salaries, the wealth of you guys nowadays to file the 485 application, you guys have a lot of money. I mean, it's just 1 month expenditure for you, 1 month of your income for you to file a I-485 and I-140 supplement. And believe me, before I became an immigration lawyer, I was you waiting for the green card. Don't forget that. I don't care about 1 month salary. That's the way I am. I will take a risk as long as the risk is only money. If the risk is status downgrading, that's different. In this case, I'm telling you, the risk that you'll be taking is the money, nothing else but the money.
Okay. Sir, actually, I mean, I was not concerned about the money because I want to file in EB.
I know you because I know you because I was you before. That's the reason I can tell I know you. I'm suggesting you that by filing a downgrade application, let's say, for example, you file a downgrade application, let's say in February or March, the filing dates for EB2 moves forward, okay? Well, you just need to file one more adjustment of status application. And let me tell you one thing, you don't have to withdraw this application. You can go for both of them.
Okay.
There will be a day the USCIS may come and tell you to withdraw one of the applications. They'll request you very politely. This is what they will tell. Rahul, can you tell your client to withdraw one of it? I'm going to approve the other one. If he withdraws this, and then that's fine. I'll get a signed document from my guy, withdraw it, and they approve the other case. So you don't have to practically withdraw this into the downgrade application. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling. All right, Rahul Garu. We have a bunch of other questions, but we have one from Kumar Bhatla. He says, is there a chance that the 120,000 green cards from family to employment-based that they're transferring over may go unused if USCIS can't process them all this year? He asks, can they be carried over to 2022?
It's a very valid and very, very intellect question, though. The answer, the simple in one word answer is no, they cannot be carried over. So if they don't give the employment-based immigration, all these green cards will be wasted. Having said that though, what we are noticing right now is the USCIS is kind of waiving the process of the interview now because of the COVID situation.
Correct.
So they may adjudicate the applications much faster than what you think they can. Especially with the new administration coming to the picture, they may skip some of the things. They may used to go to the old processes, no interview. Those things they can do it. Previously, when things where FBI checkup used to take a long time, what the administration, Bush administration came up with a policy is, hey, look, let's do one thing. We will give the green cards to these people, but if there is any criminal things, what we know, what this guy has not intimated, or if this guy is a terrorist or something, we'll cancel the green card. And guess what? Everything went through smoothly.
Right.
Boom! The line that used to take 4 years came down to 6 months.
Got it.
6 months. Not even 6 months. I'll tell you one thing, Nitya. There are cases that were approved in 3 months.
Wow.
3 months, and or sometimes in 4 months. So they didn't even get their EAD and advance parole approved. They got their green card approved. Now, I would strongly advise that work with TVASIA Telugu, and then we will have some proposals where you need to contact. Let's go to the old policy. Let's do the biometrics faster, and if there is any, and let's get the green cards to the people whose priority date is final action dates is current. And if there is anything that is found out on these people, we'll cancel the green card and they should detain the entire family.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's go to the Bush policy, which came after, which took effective, especially after the terrorists and all those things. Yes, it was very effective and a very good job. We go back to the old Bush policy, we'll be much better off. I think so. This administration may ease up some of the procedure. Especially remember they're telling that they'll try to avoid the contact between the people. This may be a very nice thing to avoid the contact by avoiding the 485 interview. What it used to be before 2017, there was no 485 interviews. They started 485 interviews only in 2017.
Okay.
So if they do that, they don't have to waste it. But to answer your question, if we don't use that, all those things will be wasted out.
Got it. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And hopefully they are able to process all of it and, move the lines along. But Rahul Garu, very interesting conversations going on here, but we have to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back to answer some more questions.
Sounds good.
ఈ పండుగ సమయంలో అందరూ గెలుస్తారు మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్ లో. గోల్డ్ లేదా డైమండ్ ఆభరణాల కొనుగోలుపై గోల్డ్ కాయిన్స్ ఖచ్చితంగా గెలుపొందండి. పైగా 10% అడ్వాన్స్ చెల్లించి గోల్డ్ రేట్ల పెరుగుదల నుంచి రక్షణ పొందండి. బంగారం ఎక్స్చేంజ్ మీద 0 డిడక్షన్ ఆనందంగా అందుకోండి. 10 దేశాల్లో 250 స్టోర్లలో బెస్ట్ డిజైన్లని బెస్ట్ ధరాల్లో పొంది గ్యారంటీడ్ గోల్డ్ విన్నర్ అవ్వండి కేవలం మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్ లో మాత్రమే. మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్. Celebrate the beauty of life. ఈ పండుగ సమయంలో అందరూ గెలుస్తారు మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్ లో. గోల్డ్ లేదా డైమండ్ ఆభరణాల కొనుగోలుపై గోల్డ్ కాయిన్స్ ఖచ్చితంగా గెలుపొందండి. పైగా 10% అడ్వాన్స్ చెల్లించి గోల్డ్ రేట్ల పెరుగుదల నుంచి రక్షణ పొందండి. బంగారం ఎక్స్చేంజ్ మీద 0 డిడక్షన్ ఆనందంగా అందుకోండి. 10 దేశాల్లో 250 స్టోర్లలో బెస్ట్ డిజైన్లని బెస్ట్ ధరాలు.
Hello and welcome back to our talk show with experts and Manto and expert Rahul Reddy Garu. He's been answering so many questions from our viewers on YouTube as well as our callers who are calling in. And Rahul Garu, let's get back to this very exciting conversation and post-election conversation about immigration. So let's take our next caller, Andy. Hello. So area code 719.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, Andy Rahul. Thank you for taking my call. I have one question. My previous employer is very cooperative, and then he has decided to file my I-485, even though I'm not with him currently. And then he's not even asking me to come on his payroll or anything. So if you are like in my position, and if you are not sure of his financial status and you being a future employee, do I take a step of moving out after 180 days on a 485J?
First question is it a downgrade or a straight application?
It's a straight EB2 current.
I would maintain the H1B until I get the green card if I were you.
Okay. So,
Thank you very much,
so
sir.
do not file any 485J with my current employer.
Wait,
H1.
no, wait. You mean to say to change to the new employer? No, you can still file the 485J supplement after 180 days. That doesn't mean that you're married to this application, though.
Okay.
Only when you use the EAD.
Okay. Got it.
So,
but my client is asking me to come on. So the question here is, Rahul, my client is asking me to come on the EAD after 180 days, and then they are ready to file the 485J so that I can be on their payroll on the EAD so that they don't have to apply the H1. And my old employer is also cooperative, so.
that's a difficult choice. If I have given a choice, you didn't, now you're not giving me a choice. Previously you said, what would you do? Would you be an H-1B or 485? I said, I'll be an H-1B. Now you're not giving me an option. So now you have to evaluate what to do. Should I go back to the old company? Should I go back to the new company? I think so. I would recommend that you contact a lawyer. Given a choice, I would maintain the H-1B until I get the green card.
Okay. So one last question. One last question. I heard a lot of your interviews where you say if we use the advanced payroll, you are married to that application.
Yes.
But one of my earlier lawyers said, even though if you use the advanced payroll, coming back into the country, there is a process that will allow you to go back on H-1.
Yes,
so I wanted to know, is there a process?
I differentiated between flirting with a girl and getting married to a girl. So if you flirt with a girl, it's not that hard to get away from that person. But if you get married, you can still get away. But it's a lengthy process and expensive process.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I want to know more about this nice employer who's doing stuff for people.
There are some good guys. There are many good guys, actually. Very surprised. When I looked into the 485 applications, the number of people that we filed, those people who are not working, very surprised. They did very, they said, this, employer called and told me that this employee was very loyal to me. I would like to have this guy back. No matter he left me, and I'm going to file the application. There are. What comes to notice, 𝗧𝗪𝗧, is that the one person who is very evil and all those things is the one who gets noticed more. I mean, if a dog bites a man, who cares? I mean, it's all the time happens. Man bites a dog, it's all the time, and man is only born to bite the dog. So yes, there are many good employers. We don't hear very much about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's how news works. It's always the bad stuff that comes, shining out.
That's the reason we at TVASIA, we bring live people here who actually work with them and then go to the questions and answer the questions here.
That's true. And we hope to continue to do this on an ongoing basis. All right, let's take our next caller, Rahul Garu. Hello. Hello, sir. Area code 908. All right, let's take a question from YouTube real quick. This is from Sudarshan. He says, hi Rahul Garu, my wife's latest I-539 has I-94 with the old port of entry number, not the recent entry's I-94 number. Will this be a problem in the future?
It won't be any problem in the future. You can always rectify by flying to Mexico and coming back. And depending on why they do it, you can always file one more application to rectify it. That's one thing. I would do one thing. I mean, I will fly to Mexico, and if the guy drinks tequila, have a tequila in Mexico and come back, everything will be corrected. But if not, you're a teetotaler like our ex-President Trump. Yeah, you can just have a coffee and come back.
All right. Okay, let's try and see if we can get back to our caller, Randy. Sure. Hello. Hello, sir. Area code 908. Okay. Looks like there's some issue. Let's take our next caller, Randy. Hello. Okay. In the meantime, let's get Priya Raman's question. Hello. Hello. So area code 361. Press *6 to unmute your line, sir. So please press *6 to unmute your line. Area code 361.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi, Rahul Garu.
Yes.
With my current employer, my I-140 was approved. And if I wanted to move to new job, does my new employer need to be applied from privilege-based determination?
What stage you are in right now? You said what is your priority date?
So my I-140 was approved. Its priority date was September 2015.
So it's not current right now. Yeah, if you move to a new employer,
No, it's
they
not
have
that.
to start all the way from prevailing wage.
Got it. So the second question, I already you already told me, like I heard that whether there are chances that the priority dates will be moved forward.
Mm-hmm.
If the family green cards are banned for next like couple more months, are there any chances that the filing dates will be moved?
Very good chance, especially if it's not this year though. Next year, there is a good chance that it will move. The reason the family-based immigration might have a problem, even if this administration doesn't have any intention to continue with the executive order. That's for sure, we know that. But still, the COVID is not under their control, and the consulates may not be able to reopen that fast. If that happens, there is a chance that there may be some extra overplay coming in 2022. 2022 starts on October 1st for the immigration.
Got it.
2022, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling in. Rahul Garu, we'll take our next caller shortly, and we'll get a YouTube viewer's question answered. This is from Priya Raman. She says, will EB1 data filing for Indians move forward in December or Jan of 2021 because of the new elected president?
This new elected president would not have anything to do with the priority date movements, though. It is controlled by the Department of State. Irrespective of all the politics that are going on, though, it has nothing to do with it. But to answer the question, is there a chance of the movement? It will depend on how many applications are received by the immigration on the EB1. The USCIS used to release that information to the public before every 3 months. They're not releasing it from, I think so, it's a Trump administration didn't want to release it. So they may be releasing the information that how many applications have been received in the first 3 months, that is October, November, and December. And then we may see some developments in the EB1 category. But I would say that it will not have, just because this new administration will not have the impact whatsoever at all on EB1 movement.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Let's go to our next caller. Sir, area code 617. Hello?
Yeah, hi. Good evening. Are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Good evening, 𝗘𝗃𝗃, and good evening, Rahul garu.
Sure.
I have two questions, sir. So basically, I was working on EVC model, and I have, my employer filed green card. I mean, the green card and I-140 was approved back in 2016 in EB2. But for the same client, I moved to them in last year, 2019, working for them directly. So, but now later after 6-7 months, I got to know that the client side, my application is going to be filed under EB3. So since the job requirement was mentioned as just 1 year and the experience and the bachelor's degree, so and they said that they don't have any chance of filing in EB2, so they are proceeding with that, and prevailing which is done, and recruitment process is done, and they just filed the last month. So my question is, so am I going to, I mean, if I'm in good shape, or do I suggest to move out of them and join back to my old employer and work them as a consultant, since I have a EB2 priority date.
So let me ask you this question to you though. What priority date is ahead right now, EB2 or EB3? My quiz to you. This time I'm a caller. You're an immigration lawyer. Sir.
Yeah, in both EB3 are ahead, both the filing and final action date.
EB3 is ahead. So now,
yes.
Why do you want to trouble yourself right now? When EB3 is
no,
ahead?
that question, the main question is, since all the applications are being downgraded, right, all these years, so all these,
it's going to be very tough for me to estimate which one is going to go forward. I can tell you that from 2018 onwards, we've been telling that EB3 will be forward than EB2. Although in starting from past 1 month though, We may back off because of the downgrading applications, but I can't still estimate which one is going to go forward. I've been wrong 10,000 times in estimating the priority dates. And you probably might be a better estimator though. But some people ask the question, what would you do if I were you? Well, I will file EB3 right now. I will not hesitate right now filing an EB3 because you told me that the EB3 filing date is ahead of EB2. That's what you told me.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sometimes I want to be fine.
The next question, sir, final question. So if the final action date as of September 2021 is not current of filing date, that means if for EB3, if the final action date is not January 2015 in September 2021, so will there any chance of moving the filing dates in the next academic year, or is it in just a fiscal year, or is it just going to be, or is there any chance to move back also? Will that be a possibility?
There is, we have not noticed the filing dates moving back that much though. Historically, we have not seen it.
Okay.
Rarely we have seen the filing dates moving back, very rarely though. Having said that, you know the difference between when the USCIS is going to accept the filing dates, when they are going to accept the final action dates. You already know that, is that right? That part you know, as far as the filing dates is concerned, historically we have not seen them going back, not much. Remember that the filing date chart started coming only in September of 2015. So it's only 5 years since the time the filing date charts have been coming. Before that, there was no filing dates, there was only final action dates. So since the time they came in, we haven't seen much filing dates movement backward though. Of course, forward movement we have seen, backward movement we have not seen. As far as the final action dates are concerned, they go zigzag, forward and backward. But as far as the filing dates, they normally do not go backward.
Okay. So in the next next 3 more years, is there any chance of moving the filing date for EB3 to 2015, or we are not sure?
You have become my lawyer and guessed it very good. You will be a very good guesser in the visa bulletin guessing. And let me tell you one thing. I've gone 10,000 plus times. You don't want to answer from a guy like me on that issue. Okay? Thank you for tuning in.
All right, so thank you for calling in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's go on to our next caller. But in the meantime, Rahul Garu, this is a little bit of a different question from our YouTube viewer, 𝗘𝗹𝗲𝗀𝗀. He says, hi Rahul, after getting my EAD, can I go back to India and return after 10 years? And if so, what is the process?
No. If you got an EAD through adjustment of status, that means that you are telling the administration that I want to sit down in this country and get the green card. If you leave the country and stay there for 10 years, your EAD is gone. I mean, you have an advance parole, which at the maximum is only eligible for up to 2 years. So you're gone, your adjustment of status will be kicked out, and then you'll be out of this application.
So, I mean, technically he can come back, but he'll just have to restart.
Yeah. He has to come back in H-1B.
Okay, yeah. Okay, makes sense. All right. Okay, let's go to our next caller. Sir, area code 848.
Yeah, hi. Hi. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Nityan. Hi, Rahul Garu. So I have a question regarding my wife's H4. So I was on my F1 before October 1st. So my H1 recently started October 1st, and she had F2 rejections previously. So we tried. We got married last year, February. So we tried a couple of times for F2, and we got rejected, and we were waiting for to get my H1, and then she can go for H4. So recently, she was able to manage to get an appointment in US consulate through emergency appointment in Chennai. And she been to the interview on September 21st. And so since my H1 is starting October 1st, the consular officer asked to drop her passport after October 1st for stamping. So which we did. So we dropped the passport after that. And so they sent the passport back, but with another 221G that you need to attend the interview again. So I mean, there's no reason mentioned, but we just but they're asking to come back after they resume the regular operations. So we don't know when.
I would recommend that you make an appointment for March right now. March are the dates that are available right now. Make an appointment for March.
Yeah.
It is not nice to go on September first week for her H4 visa. It would have been better. It would have been in October instead of September. That's a mistake that you did.
Yeah, I understand. But
Having said that,
it's not in our hands. Yeah.
Yeah,
so we requested for emergency appointment. They only gave us the date, so it's not in our hands.
This is the Trump administration. They do it all wrong. They do it intentionally. That's my observation. Why would they give an appointment for your wife? They would have given for somebody else who would have taken it and got the visa. They will only give it saying, look, we gave it to the people, emergency appointment, but they were not eligible. Why are they giving it to the people though? They shouldn't have given to her at all. So it is just to tell the Congress what they are doing is good, which they are not, is what they are doing. Your wife has to go. But let me tell you one thing. The fact that she got the F2 denials previously shouldn't have much negative impact in her getting a H4 approval.
Shouldn't have or should have?
Should not have.
Okay, cool. So the question I have is like, if her application is still pending with them, and we cannot take, is there any possibility we can cancel? Because if I travel to India, so can I book, with an emergency appointment, can I take her with me as an applicant, independent applicant?
No. First is, who is going to tell you that your emergency appointment will be given? They won't give it to you, remember. They'll give it to only the people who don't get it. So you go there and you get stuck there, and for 6 months, your H1B will be lost, and then she won't be able to come back. So if you just make the normal appointment for her in March, and then let her come here, okay?
Okay. So do you think like the consulate will be open in March, like by March?
That's a very tough question. I can't answer that. That requires that I must speak with Dr. F.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I hope everything goes well. Thank you for calling in.
But Nitya, I want to remind that the people who are making appointments, people who have made appointments in August and September, they said, okay, come back again, and then they gave in November, and then now January, and then canceling every time. Now they're telling it's in March. He has a very genuine question. Would the appointment stand in March? I can't tell. It's keep on, this COVID keep on postponing.
I know.
Even Dr. F can't estimate it, so I'm nothing.
I know. And it's I don't even want to get into that whole topic of uncertainty. But Rahul, I think a lot of our viewers on YouTube also have questions about this EB1 filing date, or date of filing, as they call it. They want to know, what is there going to be any movement in the date of filing for EB1?
Typically, we don't see data filing movement that much. Data filing movement that much. In the first 5 months, we don't see much data filing movements. So I'm just trying to see where the dates are. They are in September of 2020 right now. The data filing is September 1st of 2020. That's only backlogged by about 2.5 months to 3 months. We don't see typically in the first 4 to 5 months, but we see at the end it may move a little bit.
Okay.
For the EB1.
Got it. Okay. All right. On to our next caller. Hello? So area code 30.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Hi, Rahul. Thank you for your service to the community. Really appreciate it, Andy. My question to you is, I applied for green card through my wife, and the receipt date was August 27, 2020. And at the time of, I have two questions on this. The first one is with regards to I-944.
Before you go to the question, you said you filed through your wife. Is your wife the main applicant, or is she the petitioner? Okay, she's the main applicant. Okay.
Yes, sir. She is the citizen. Yeah.
So she's the petitioner. She's not the main applicant. She's a U.S. citizen and filing. Thank you. Okay, good. Got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So question is, at the time of filing, there was this constant chaining about this I-94. Yeah. So at the time, my lawyer decided that he won't apply for it. Then again, it changed multiple times. The question is, do you know, with my receipt date as August 27, 2020, what's the status of this I-94? Will I still get an RFE?
I would do one thing. I would file an I-944 right now. It is called interfiling.
Okay.
You use a word called interfiling, put the receipt notice of the 485 application, and attach the 944 and all the attachments and send it to them. That's one way of doing. Second thing is that US citizens filing for the others to get the green card, you are going to be interviewed, period. There's no way out. Remember the other people that I was telling, there is a chance they may not interview. They have to interview you. They have to. There's no option that they'll give you without interview. You can take it for the interview too if you want to. But I would be a little bit more defense because if you send it to them, they may review it. If there is any problems, they can issue an RFE or they can ask you some questions at the time when you go there. But if you don't give them the time to review when you go for the interview and they have any questions, and then say, okay, they'll issue you RF after 3 months or 4 months. So I will do the interfiling right now and file 944.
Okay. So the second question is, my lawyer raised that, on the birth certificate in India, we write the family name first, and the given name is follows, and I have my I-140 approved through my employment, all that process, and I have been through that whole process, and I never got any RFE with regards to my name or discrepancy of it. And my lawyer, looking at my birth certificate, said there's a strong chance I'll get an RFE for my name. What is your suggestion on this?
Do you know my name?
Yes, sir.
What is my name?
Rahul Reddy.
Absolutely wrong. Rahul is my family name. So when you write the name in India, especially in Andhra Pradesh, now in Telangana, we write the family name Rahul as first, and then my actual name is Venkat, and my middle name is Reddy, and that's how we write. Last name first, we mess it up. So I'm not expecting much problems. I'm not expecting much problems because of the last name and first name. I decided to keep my last name because it's easy. Once you come into the United States, Rahul, I like my last name. Having said that, though, you can provide the alternative documents. I want you to go to rnlockbook.com, type in as a birth affidavit. You don't need, I would like you to get 2 birth affidavits. I would like you to get as much as documentation as, there's a non-availability certificate, don't get it because you do have a birth certificate. Try to get all other documents. If you have a ration card previously, if you have in the elections, your name is there, election card is there. If you have an Aadhaar card, if you have PAN card, well, there you go, you're smarter. You get all those things. Don't submit to your lawyer, don't submit to the USCIS. Remember, in the 944, I told you to submit it in advance. Don't submit this, wait. If they ask any questions at that point of time, you can submit it.
Okay, so don't poke the bear unless they raise the question.
Right. You're smart guy.
Okay.
Smart guy.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for your help. I appreciate it. Thank you.
For calling in.
Certain people have vocabulary is amazing.
Let's go to our next caller. But in the meantime, we have a question from 𝗘𝗹𝗲𝗀𝗂𝗪. He says he has a typo in his form. So his experience with company A was just for the year 2010 and B was from 2010 to 2012. And in the perm application, I think they've mentioned it as company A from 2010 to 2012 and the same with company B. His question is, can I downgrade and should I file it as a new application or as an amendment?
First thing is that if the person qualified with the typographical, assuming that if the actual thing was being presented, if he is qualified for the I-140 application, because let's say the position requires 5 years experience, and he has that 5 years experience, assuming that there is no typo, that should not be very hard to explain the typo. It should be fine. Now, as far as filing as an amendment or as filing as a new application, we strongly recommend filing as a new application, never file as a amendment. We only recommend filing amendments in case where the tax ID number of the company changes, company name changes. Sometimes the whole structure of the company changes. At that point of time, we recommend filing an amendment. Otherwise, do not file an amendment. It's a wrong way of filing an I-140 application.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rahul. Let's go on to our next caller. Sir, area code 678. Please press *6 to unmute your line. Area code 678. Please press *6 to unmute your line. Okay, I think there's some problem. Let's go to our next caller, Randy. But in the meantime, we have a question on YouTube. It says, where do you see final action dates for India to end in coming year? Please press *6. Area code 678. Area code 424. Me line mute cheskuntara.
Not line. Yeah.
Hello?
Sorry. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually in California and I want to move my location to another state, to a cheaper state, so I can save on rent. So do I need to file an amendment for that, or I can just move like that?
It's not just the rent. If you come to Texas, there's no state taxes too. First thing is that, are you an H-1B or what adjustment of status?
H-1B.
Yes, if you move, I mean, if you're working from home, if you want to move, yeah, you have to file an amendment. It's you have to file an amendment to move to Texas or any other state.
Okay. And do we need like any client documents for filing the amendment, or it's not needed?
Yes, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And the other question is, let's say if I stay with my employer and if I want to do 2 jobs just from California, then I don't need to file an amendment, right?
With the same company, if he is allocating to 2 different projects, you do not need an amendment.
Okay. Okay. So that's a more better option then. Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Don't forget that you come to Texas, there's no state tax too.
You can go to Texas.
Okay, I will choose the one with
2 jobs from California.
Yeah, but the problem is, I think
it's irrelevant. We're just joking. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Yeah, I would do that. Move to Texas and work the 2 California jobs, you know. Why not, right?
Yeah.
All right, Rahul Garu,
I got some questions that's coming from Rita Krishna from YouTube.
Okay.
She filed a downgrade application. Do you recommend filing a premium processing? I do not recommend filing premium at the time of filing the application because there is a good chance that they're going to reject it. But I strongly recommend to file a premium processing once you get the receipt notice of 5140.
Okay. All right.
Question from Lakshmi Narayana Garundi from YouTube. Okay. There's a question. Do you think so that do you think the new administration is going to undo all bad things done by the Trump administration in the employment base? The answer is, I do not believe that they will just undo everything. They may undo some things, but not all the things.
Okay. Hello.
Bless you.
Our next caller, area code 847.
Hello.
Hi, Henry.
Yes.
Hi, Rahul
yes,
sir. Thank you for all you done. Actually, the question is about my husband's job, H1. We have approval till July 2023, but right now my husband's company is lost and they want to give less salary. They show on that time, extension time, but if and we already applied 485 application in October first week. So I want to know any wrong update on my or anything.
I'm assuming your name is Reshma. You're getting cut off. Is that right, Reshma?
No, my name is Anu.
Okay, you said your husband's H-1B is expiring in 2023. So what's the other thing that you said, that the husband's employer is not willing to do what? I know you filed a different status.
Actually, right now, yes. My husband comes.
You're getting cut off, ma'am.
Right now, you hear me?
Yes.
A little bit better. Right.
Okay, my question is actually my husband's company right now in loss and they want to give a less salary. So can it possible we can, what can we do, like any other way we can cut off the salary or something like that we can apply, or we can do a new H1 extension?
If they want to cut the salary off, they have to file an amendment to file the cut the salary off.
Okay.
But it may impact your 485 application. I would recommend that your husband contact a lawyer to see what are the better methods of doing it if they're going to cut the salary. The first thing is that do they still meet the prevailing wage requirements, or do they not the prevailing wage requirements? Is it better to cut the hours, or is it better to go with the alternative wages? Is it going to be a different position than that of the labor certification positions? I would recommend that he contact a lawyer. If it is a simple H1B, it's different, but when it is when you club 485 though, I strongly recommend that your husband should contact a lawyer.
Okay, and and one more thing I want to clarify. Because our extension start mid-July, because January to July 15th, we have another amount of salary, and when we extension our the amount is increased after July 15 to December. So what is our package? The 6 months count, what?
It's better, but I mean, it's a little bit complex to answer these questions in this recorded TV line. I would rather want to study a little bit more on it, or I would advise to contact a competent lawyer. If you want to contact us, you can go to @rawlgroup.com and you can book an appointment at any time, and then I can speak with your husband, okay? It's a little bit more complex to answer it in 1 to 2 minutes in this TV show, okay?
Okay. So actually right now we are little tight. So if your consulting fees is like little discount to us, so.
I understand, ma'am. You don't have to go through me. You can go to any competent lawyer. You can do it, but this is getting an answer in 2 minutes is not, especially when your lives are at stake and you don't want to do anything messing up around. Okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for calling in today. I think we're all out of time today, Rahul Garu. So we still have a lot more questions and a lot more callers, but we'll have to address some of their concerns only next week, next Sunday. To all our viewers, thank you so much for joining in today, and I hope we've done our part to answer a lot of your questions and possibly alleviate some of your stress. But Rahul Garu, this episode was really nice because it's been post-elections, and I know everybody's kind of been running like little chicken with their heads cut off on Mata. So hopefully there's like a little more peace going forward, and hopefully fingers crossed that the immigration.
We get more clarity as we go forward.
Yeah, I hope so too. But thank you so much, Rahul Garu, for joining us and patiently answering all our questions. We will see all of you next week, same time, same day. So stay tuned till then, okay? Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Rahul Garu.
Thank you very much.